Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, May 19, 2022. The Ministry of Education says it is working to ensure that students who are confirmed positive with COVID-19 are able to sit their external exams. Portfolio Minister Favour Williams says guidance on the protocols will be given to schools as soon as possible. She was giving an update on the outbreak of the virus within the education sector during the Ministry of Health's virtual COVID-19 weekly conversation on Wednesday. The minister says since the resumption of face-to-face classes in March, there has been an overall 245 confirmed cases among students, teachers, and general staffing. As a result, some schools have reverted to online learning.
In response, we again disseminated a recent bulletin to the education system, alerting our stakeholders about the current situation and reminding them to enforce the COVID-19 protocols to ensure the safe operations of schools. School administrators were also asked to resensitize all key stakeholders about the protocols to be observed, including the frequent washing of hands, temperature checks, wearing of masks, mask breaks, and so on.
She says the ministry will be holding town hall meetings to allow parents, principals, teachers, and other stakeholders the opportunity to ask questions and share concerns. She assures that all schools have isolation centers if persons are displaying symptoms of COVID-19 and urges teachers to be very vigilant for signs and isolate as quickly as possible. The Education Ministry will continue to receive weekly reports to monitor and provide guidance for schools. Meanwhile, with the confirmation of Jamaica entering a fifth wave of COVID-19 infections, Prime Minister Andrew Holness is urging personal vigilance and responsibility to control the spread of the virus. Mr. Holness says that while government is playing its part, Jamaicans have a greater duty to protect themselves.
If our monitoring shows that we need to take certain preventative actions, we will very quickly and very rapidly mobilize. We have never demobilized. We are still prepared and ready to act. I urge all Jamaicans, therefore, to follow the protocols. Wear your mask, sanitize. If you are ill, stay home. If you don't have to go out, then don't. Be careful of how you move around in crowds. Just be very conscious.
The Ministry of Health is reporting that the increase in cases is likely caused by the Omicron BA.2 subvariant, which was first discovered on the island in April. Up to May 16, Jamaica recorded a positivity rate of 33.8%. Prime Minister Andrew Holness is promising greater investment and development of commercial and residential real estate along the Kingston waterfront. The Prime Minister says talks have been ongoing with the World Bank and the International Finance Corporation to establish a project for the redevelopment of downtown Kingston.
And we're very serious about that. We believe that that can be a major catalyst for economic growth in this area. So stay tuned. There will be more to come in the development of downtown Kingston.
The Prime Minister made the comments as he officially opened the Port Royal Street Revetment project. The 1-kilometer roadway, complete with a seawall and promenade, was completed at a cost of $1.3 billion. It forms part of the Jamaica Social Investment Fund's Disaster Vulnerability Reduction Project, which is funded by the World Bank. Mr. Holness says the project will expand another 20 kilometers to reach the Palisadoes Strip. That work will be spearheaded by the Urban Development Corporation. Jamaica continues to witness extraordinary growth in the global services sector, GSS, which is helping to move the island's unemployment levels closer to zero. That's according to the Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Senator Aubin Hill, who was speaking at the Global Services Association of Jamaica Glance Forum on Tuesday.
Estimates are that revenues from the GSS activity more than doubled between 2016 to today, from 400 million to over 900 million at the end of by a couple of weeks ago. Similarly, employment jumped from 17,000 direct employees in 2015 in 30 companies to 46,021, up to 52,000 and 95 domestic and international firms.
He points out that less than 2 weeks ago, Prime Minister Andrew Holness opened the Port Authority of Jamaica's newest BPO centre, the Portmore Informatics Park in St. Catherine. In addition, Senator Hill says BPO company ITEL is set to open a 90,000 square feet facility later this month at its newest location in Kingston, contributing a projected $60 million to the local economy.
IBEX this time, another global services provider, expects that by the end of 2022, they will employ 9,000 people in their facilities across this island. I'm going to Manchester on the 2nd of June, I think, for an opening there for a big place. There are other places in St. Elizabeth, in St. Anne, St. Mary, Hanover, across the country.
The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries will be implementing more infrastructure development in southeast Clarendon to utilize idle lands that are readily available. Portfolio Minister Pernell Charles Jr. says the ministry will also advance a massive youth development program with training, scholarships, workshops, and other activities to engage young people.
This Labour Day, we will host the largest community fair ever seen in these parts at the Rocky Point Community Centre, with a raft of social services being offered, and I've already identified areas to introduce a range of dynamic activities.
Minister Charles Jr. was making his sectoral presentation in Parliament on Tuesday. And finally, advancing the protection of plant health in Jamaica through modernization and new regulations is the new focus of the Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries. As part of that, Portfolio Minister Pernell Charles Jr. says the Plant Quarantine Act will be updated to align with international and regional standards.
We are modernizing the Plant Quarantine Act to make it more comprehensive to deal with matters of protection and quarantine, and soon Jamaica will have a modern Plant Health Act. That's very important.
Minister Charles Jr. was speaking at a recent event to mark International Day of Plant Health. He says the plant quarantine and inspection branch of the ministry will also be retooled with a seed and nursery certification unit, designated plant surveillance, and a canine unit.
It is important to note that in 2021, our branch confiscated 3,449 kilograms of uncertified plants and plant products that entered through our ports. Now, while this reflects a decline when compared to pre-COVID, we believe that this reflects only the tip of the iceberg of what is being brought into the country without proper certification.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.